Firefighters rescue dog trapped in well at Amamorley. Stories on myjoyonline.com that officers of the Ghana National Fire Service swiftly rescued a dog that had fallen into a well at Amamorley, Canada Junction following a distress call on January 20, 2025. According to a press statement, three-member rescue team led by Assistant Divisional Officer ADO1 Nana Kobna Baine was dispatched within minutes to the call, and the team arrived promptly at the scene and carried out the rescue in accordance with standard safety procedures.
Wow, that's beautiful.
The trapped dog was successfully rescued from the well unharmed.
Wow.
And the statement issued by the Public Relations Officer of the Ghana National Fire Service in the Greater Accra region on Wednesday praised the swift response of the officers and highlighted the service's commitment to protecting life and property. The well is quite deep now. They've done one. The dog is out. It's looking very well.
Yeah, I mean, you see those days when you're going to school elsewhere, that you see that the people they are racing. People. You see,
they're going to carry cat. Rescue cat and dog. We too, we have done some.
No. This story has to be on BBC.
We too, we have done some.
Does it say anything about the owner of the dog?
It hasn't mentioned the owner, but the owners called the Ghana Fire
Service to
rescue the dog.
Some people are not right to do the super.
So this story, made some laugh a bit, and it was interesting, But I think that it has some relevance for us as a nation in our nation building. It's great that citizens have confidence in state institutions that are supposed to serve and save lives, particularly if when you're looking at institutions that have been bastardized for a very long time, especially in their response to emergency and crisis. I love this story I've read this morning, that firefighters rescued dog trapped in well at Amamorley. It was one dog. It took 3 men to get there and rescue the dog, and I think that I like it. It gives me hope that people have confidence in the appropriate institutions, that if anything happens, they can call and help will come. That's a good. Let me just read the story. I like the way Kaka is smiling this morning. There's some good interest here for me. Officers of the Ghana National Fire Service swiftly rescued a dog that had fallen into a well at Amamorley, Canada Junction following a distress call on January 20. Okay, now according to a press statement, a 3-member rescue team led by Assistant Divisional Officer 1 ADO1 Nana Kobina Baine, so 3-member rescue team for one dog was dispatched within minutes of the call. Talk of efficiency. Now the team arrived promptly at the scene and carried out the rescue in accordance with standard safety procedures. Now the trapped dog was successfully rescued from the well unharmed. It goes on to say that the statement issued by the Public Relations Officer of the Ghana National Fire Service in the Greater Accra region on Wednesday, January 22, 2026, praised the swift response of the officers and highlighted the service's commitment to protecting life and property. The incident has drawn praise from residents in the area, with the rescue once again underscoring the Ghana National Fire Service's readiness to respond to emergencies of all kinds. And then if you get to the last part, you see the photograph of the dog. The only issue that I have is the rope that is tied around the neck of the dog. Usually when you watch movies, when fire service people are going on such rescues, they have some nice, is it leash or some rope that is more. This one is the one we dry things on in there. They used to tie the neck of the dog. It means from the depth of the well to there. Before I don't know. Then the ladder to the ones I see other fire service people use. This ladder, it looks like. So I think it's a good point for us to call for the service to be retooled, because for a very long time fire service have been calling for retooling, and it seems that has not had as much attention as possible. I see some private institutions have built fire services across the country here and there, but this gives me hope. I like this story. I really love it very sincerely.
I think that the use of the rope and the ladder brings to mind, as Ghanaians or as Africans, we have a knack for improvising.
Yeah.
That can be very useful. We tend to improvise with the resources available, however scanty they may be, to solve our problems. And That's something that is commendable. But I would like to commend the Ghana Fire Service.
Yeah.
Listening to the story, I felt that it was quite a fancy story.
Was it?
It's not.
Dogs' lives matter.
It's not a. Oh, indeed, but it's not a Sky. It's not a usual story to
From
hear
Ghana.
From Ghana, you know. I mean, if Sky was sitting somewhere in London and telling us about this story, then
It would be like
that
really?
would be yes, that would be usual. But it's not quite a popular thing. You hear that fire service went out and saved a dog that was trapped, etc. It's quite unusual and it's quite a fancy one, but. Congratulations to them, regardless. And I think it's interesting. We do appreciate their compassion and their courage to save and protect lives of the community, not just human lives, but also
every other life. Every other life. All lives matter.
Yes, I think it was a very important intervention from the National Fire Service, and in my view, I think it shows that as a society we are getting more sophisticated.
Absolutely.
And we care about things we should care about.
Absolutely. Not everything should end in the soup pot.
Exactly. I mean that's what it is, because in this day and age we see dogs being used to diagnose complex infections and diseases,
for crime
elsewhere,
fighting and all
crime
that.
fighting and also for providing companionship to people suffering from dementia and all kinds of conditions. Of course, as a country, we have not institutionalized the use of homes for the aged like that, although there are a few here and there because of our societal systems and the support systems that we have in our homes. But the truth is that in many other societies, and of course back here in Ghana, many people do rely on the support of dogs to be able to get about their daily life. So I think it was important that the National Fire Service did that. Because what it also does is also a teaching moment as to what people should do in terms of when they find animals like that in dire situations. You find a cat in a well. If you don't have fire service people immediately available, you should do your best to rescue, not for purposes of consumption, but returning the same to the owner.
Precisely. Very precisely.
Or sending it to the nearest police station. So that the proper thing can be done. It also sort of reignites public faith in the activities of the National Fire Service and our institutions, because if they are willing to move public resources to that extent, to be able to provide a critical assistance like that, because animals are equally entitled to our regard and support when they are in dire situations. Mind you, we have laws that emphasize the need to extend we should not, what's the word, the regular phrase is there should not be animal cruelty. So ignoring that would, in my respectful view, raise issues about whether we are really humane as a society or not. And then also we should not only, yes, it is the case that these things regularly happen elsewhere. I mean, I was going to school one day and the people came to pass.
What's going on?
Some cats, was somewhere on a pole somewhere, and they had to rescue. I mean, I've also seen them, save pigeons that were trapped.
Wow.
And for many of us, at least when you're seeing it for the first time, you ask yourself, "Are these guys?"
What's going on? That could have been.
But
breakfast, dinner,
somebody is quickly ordering some tomatoes and other things. But the truth
Spices.
is exactly that is where we have to get to. A society should not only care about human lives, right? We should also care about the animals that provide us with companionship. And I want to commend the National Service for going this far. It's a commendable exercise. We hope that when it comes down to communities that find themselves in fire distress, they will equally extend the same regard.
Can I just be naughty and ask a question?
Please.
So that if the story were to be about a chicken and not a dog, I'm interested in how the conversation around animal cruelty then, Sky.
Oh no, I mean it extends across the board. I mean
that is if the chicken is a pet and not being raised
not even
for meat.
no. The point is that
because
once an
it must die in a dignified manner.
The fowls form part of our nutrition.
Of course, in parts of Ghana, the fowl, the dogs, also are regarded as very credible.
Exactly. So where do you draw the line?
But you see, it is not. No, it's about whether you save life or not. Exactly. As to what you do to the animal thereafter. If my friends from the other part of the country who believe that this dog, you should do something about it. Of course, I mean they are entitled to do that.
You mean Panke Kwakwa?
To the extent that they are not deemed to be cruel to the animal, which would then invite, authorities.
It's the cruelty that I don't understand. Because Sky,
if it has fallen in the well,
and you ignore it, that would amount to cruelty, especially when you have the means to do something about it.
But I'm sure you've all seen on our roads before how there are frequent knockdowns of goats, cats,
stray
animals and all. And I think that's also a space that we need to sanitize, where we are commending the fire service for what they've done. We have real issues with stray dogs, some having rabies and all those things. People leave their pets and dogs and all those things, and they're just moving about in a manner that is uncontrolled. But
they can even pose a threat to pedestrians, and I think the MMDAs, that is something that they should be looking into.
Because it's in our bylaws.
Yes, to get these stray animals off the streets.
Yeah. It's very important. And when you're also driving, be mindful, because Sky and Francisca, I'm sure you've seen elsewhere, people drive and they stop just for a long train of swans to cross the road before they move on and all of that.
Here we have the cattle.
No, they stop us. We don't stop for them. They stop.
Well, you see, so for instance, this particular dog, right? The question is whether in our database, if we do have one, it is possible to trace the owner.
Okay.
Because ideally, there will be consequences for such a situation. I don't know the specific details of where they found the dog, but if the dog was found outside its home, in a space where it ought not to be, the relevant national laws and bylaws should combine to impose appropriate penalty on the owner.
Correct.
Because it is not to be expected that a dog owned by someone will be loitering about. Our bylaws and our national laws are firm on that particular matter. So the question is whether, having rescued the dog, the National Fire Service people have been able to identify the name of the dog, the tag on it, if any, locate the owner, and to ask specific questions as to how come the dog left its home to be where it was, as to fall into that particular situation.
Because if that dog had died in the well and people didn't know, imagine the public health implications
for the water
it will pose for the people in Amamorley, Canada Junction. So
and where is
that?
Amamorley.
But
Canada
you see,
Junction.
that notwithstanding.
So before you come in,
sure.
so you see, when you establish all of those facts, then you can impose liability. So in fact, the cost of rescuing the dog, right? If it is determined that the owner was negligent and did not do what he ought to have done, there should be questions as to whether he was not then imposed with a liability to be able to pay back.
So we find
them. Yeah, exactly, because we have used public resource that we should be using for other equally important problems to discharge this obligation we do have as a state. And if it is born out of someone's negligence, then certainly there should be culpability.
Some justice must be exacted.
In my respect.
So let me just take you through a very quick data set I have here, put by our team on the status of the Ghana National Fire Service. I'm doing some agama here, right? So that the Interior Minister and those responsible for the sector will pay attention to the Ghana National Fire Service. So we are told approximately 235 fire tenders are in operation, though many are outdated and insufficient for national coverage. In Greater Accra, in all of Greater Accra, we have about 25 million people, and think about all our congested areas. We have just 25 functional but old fire fire tenders operating in Accra alone. In Ashanti region, you have 24 operational fire tenders with 1 out of service completely. Broken down tenders, 97 fire tenders reported as non-functional due to breakdown. This is data that's accurate till 2025. There are obsolete equipment. Many tenders and turntable ladders are over 22 years old, leading to calls for urgent retooling to avoid potential shutdowns. And I'm sure the authorities, they have all the figures. So we are commending the rescue team of 3 men who went to save 1 dog. Reminds us of the story of the man who left his 99 sheep and went to find 1. So what are their names? Assistant Divisional Officer 1, ADO1 Nana Kobina Baini. He was the leader of the team of 3 to go rescue that dog. We are commending the team, and we are saying that same should be extended to everyone. But then, Sky, there's an issue of prank calls where most of the stations complain that many people call them at will and there's no serious emergency. I think we also need to take responsibility as a public not to abuse such, offices.
Exactly. I mean, you see, it is a problem that is endemic in many parts of the world. And what some other countries have done happens to be the location of the people responsible, arresting them and prosecuting them. Because the principle is that if you engage a line that is meant to receive emergency calls and you are using it for frivolous purposes, what it means is that someone who would have been in dire distress, requiring urgent attention, would be denied because you have engaged a line, right? So that the state takes those, those cases of misconduct very seriously. And then you get prosecuted and punishment imposed because you did that. What we don't seem to have in our part of this, in our country, seems to be the force with which to prosecute people like that, who engage the line for very obvious, silly reasons. You don't often hear stories of the police or national security having investigated and found these people, because we hear that the prank calls, that the numbers are increasing. Exactly. So what is important is that we hope that as we talk about re-registration of numbers, mobile lines and all of these things, there is a system in place to find people who use or misuse our lines this way, so that they can be properly brought to justice, because it is clearly unacceptable.
Very important.
An officer who is engaged to be talking about your silly call could have been spending her time
doing something life-saving.
Exactly.
Very important. So as citizens, please.
Just yesterday, was it 2 days ago, Donald Trump's son apparently saw a video of someone who was being brutalized in the UK. And having seen that video, called the UK police immediately, and they went and saved a life. You see, imagine that officer was engaged in some prank call. So it's important that as citizens, we don't do it. And where we do it, the state has a responsibility to find us and deal with us.
Absolutely.
Charlie, I heard you people talking about
the
Kramai who fell into
Trapped in a
something.
well,
And then I hear Sky was saying, "Oh, what if they hadn't?" Or you were saying that, "What if they hadn't noticed that thing? Then people would be drinking." And it brought my attention to something that happened in Queens Hall, UST.
Okay.
That was where we left. There's a tank, water tank on top of the hall, which Charlie apparently some impete had landed in the tank for weeks. And brothers were drinking. Oh my word! There's a problem, and I think the carpenters went up there to do something. And that's when they found out that Charlie, that he had loads of impete inside. So if you pass through Queens Hall between the years 1994, 95, Charlie, one impete too.
You report to the nearest hospital.
One of this,
no, this morning fire service they made us happy. They've rescued the dog.
But Charlie, this fire service matter. I have my own ideas about this fire service thing. Charlie.
Is it?
Yeah, look, we are investing.
Yeah.
The country has been trying to invest in the institution of Ghana National Fire Service.
Right.
But the protocols in managing fires,
Okay.
we have never highlighted the protocols.
Yeah, that's a big matter.
So it's like fetching water into a basket. Okay? When haven't you seen driving by the roadside in urban Accra, you see somebody burning bush?
Yeah.
With no regard to any protocol. It's like, I want to do what I want to do. At times they are burning bush by the roadside.
Exactly.
Sometimes on hydrants,
Yes,
on pipelines, under street lights, under traffic lights.
Don't we have regulations?
That's true.
So yes, fire service, yes, but how we behave, we should find a way of dealing with it. You can't just set up a shop anywhere because you own the land. Okay, you go to the marketplace, the markets. We don't even have access to some of the shops. And when there's fire outbreak, they come and say that government come and help us. But government is telling you that what you are doing is not right. They say, hey.
Yeah.
And the government too fears because of vote.
Yeah.
So the whole cycle repeats itself, and then we pretend that we are solving it, and our approach to solving it is just buy more, procure more, and live anyhow.
Yeah. So you're saying that the system itself and the protocols must be checked?
We need to.
Yeah.
We need to. Why do you burn bush anywhere? You are building. No, fire protocols,
Nothing.
zero, nothing.
Yeah, true.
People go and build long
high-rise
buildings.
Yeah.
The high-rise buildings that we build, the fire service, our fire service, in its current form,
Cannot.
does not have the equipment to manage such high-rise buildings. So I don't know why we are happy with the thing. I don't think any building taller than 10 meters, any building taller than 10 meters, or 10 meters,
Like
or
10 floors or something.
No. The fire service, the equipment, I don't think they have anything. I think it's 15 meters. Anything beyond 15 meters,
They can't reach.
They don't have it like that. They have to stand outside and pour the water like me and you will do.
In 2026.
No, but
I thought they had invested in some long ladders.
We should do something.
well, if they have now, then maybe I'm sorry about that. But what I knew, say 2 years ago, is like, but you have the tall buildings. If this is where we are going, the other time I was looking at the new Bank of Ghana building, beautiful building,
Very beautiful and very
beautiful building,
very long.
and I'm saying that, touch wood, if something happens, is our fire service ready to handle this kind of thing? I think this is where we should be going.
We should be thinking about this.
Yeah,
Also they're using drones to fight
that's
fire.
exactly where I'm going. We're talking about expanding our access points when it comes to, places where we get support internationally. The biggest country that is investing and developing drones, it's China. And they have built so much capacity in that space that it is possible to use drones in a meaningful way to deal with fire situations, especially when you're dealing with high-rise buildings like the one someone just spoke about, the BOG building. So I think that is one of the areas that the minister responsible for Interior, who has direct supervision over the National Fire Service, should be looking at, to see how we should not go begging all the time. We should be able to put aside some meaningful budget to get.
No, but the Spanish money for the bus to come on. I know that's in the vex you pass.
Yeah, that's right. We should set aside some budgetary allocation. Go and see the Chinese.
Yes.
They have developed the capacity and they are doing it. They are using drones to rescue people, using them to rescue animals, using them to deliver parcels, using them to actually deal with major fires. Exactly. So it is important. Beyond that, I think building supervision is another big matter. In other jurisdictions, consistently, where people live, where people work, they have routine, every other week, right? Or sometimes they do it just out of the blue, where you hear the alarm go off, and then you are required to move and assemble.
Assembly point.
Exactly. It is a way of consistently putting that in your mind, that this is what you do when this happens. But if you go to many of our public and private institutions, do we do that?
They don't prepare for danger.
And then also, do you find fire extinguishers and related firefighting equipment
Most have been
in
there
many
for
of our
years,
spaces?
actually. If they are there, they are probably expired.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Including our homes, there's a requirement. You should have them. But how many people have those things in their kitchen, let alone...
I'm thinking about it.
Exactly. So, fire service people would have to come to your workspace, certify the place that it is fit for purpose, that you have done the things that you need to do. But how many of our workplaces have those things? How many of our homes? You understand? So let's do our part.
You know the funny thing, I've had this gas in the cylinder for more than 5 years. I was told it has expired. I needed to discard it, so I had to let the right people come pick it, because I know they use it too. Therefore, just re-engineer the whole thing. So some of these things are things we probably take for granted, but it's good that through these conversations we are having, we are reminding ourselves so that we all do the right thing.
Meanwhile, the officers who embarrassed them recently, they need to bring them to book. I know they are investigating the matter. The ones who were... Yes. We have not forgotten about that.
I think that during the accountability series, it was mentioned that they were interdicted that they will be dealt with. The president also said that when he visited GBC. Okay, so for proper designed high-rise buildings, riser mains with hose reels at each floor are provided. Furthermore, this is Engineer Kwabena Bimpon sharing some insights with us with a photograph here. It says that for properly designed high-rise buildings, something called riser mains with loose reels at each floor are provided.
So those big,
those round
things, you see them in this
high-rise in Parliament.
So you pull it, yes, exactly.
Job 600 or something. Furthermore, underground water tanks with reserve firefighting water is designed to always remain in the tank. So it sends a photograph where you have the riser main, so a breaching inlet. So the tender is there, the track that comes from the fire service is there. Then it connects to the hose all the way up. Because something air vent, fire fighting shaft, landing valve, and some interesting things. So importance of these things and emergency drills, basically, we are talking about this morning.
Okay, so Kwabena is saying that fire service is resourced to deal with all the high rise.
No, so I think his submission is that while they may not be fully equipped with everything modern to deal with some of these challenges, in the design and the building of the buildings, there are requirements, including this thing that he's talking about. So when you go into some of these spaces, you find some big, it looks like a reel, the one we're using for TV production recently, big like that. So it has some the rope around it. So they pull that when there is any connect it, and then you can service a floor that is about maybe 10 floors up or 11 floors up. The question is whether after installing them, they service them. That's another big matter, because it is their job to certify these things and be sure that they are functional. Again, you need sensors in your rooms, in your offices, so that if there's fire, they detect it quickly and then something can be done about it.
The thing with the sensors, though, we may need to do ones that are sensitive to, when we are cooking, the way we cook, it easily triggers that. But now Bobby Thomas, it can easily make that thing go.
Professionals need to do that. I remember that when I was in the UK, I was preparing some stew.
The fire alarm. No. That your fire alarm. It wasn't the stew, it was the scent of the stew that provoked the fire alarm. The Kobe scent can provoke a fire alarm. The alarm itself will cause. Oh my God. Alarm that is supposed to be doing ping is doing wow. Oh my God.
Grandma Eleanor sends a message. She's a retired fire officer, and she says saving the dog from drowning is rescue work. The Ghana National Fire Service is established to save lives and render humanitarian services. It also saves property from fires. Thanks for praising the Ghana National Fire Service.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Charlie, you know, I missed my flight. I missed my flight years ago.
Oh, okay.
On my way to Heathrow. Charlie, that one was Ghana Airways.
Okay.
Charlie, so major traffic.
Okay.
And I eventually missed the flight.
Okay.
It turns out that these people, they call them RSPCC or whatever.
Okay.
They've been rescuing animals.
Oh.
Some stray dog bee was just
It
perambulating around, and they blocked traffic. Just
was gallivanting around.
Yeah, and then Charlie, the time I saw the dog,
You always laugh at
they used some net to be something.
Rescue the guy.
By the time I got there, the
He
Ghana
missed
was
your flight.
just flying. Because of, I say, if it be Ghana, it would be crying the best fast dog, you know, so crowd corner to them.
And then I am going, baby. Oh my God.
Hey, I'm
It's interesting. It's interesting. This dog matter has given us a good morning.